ரத்தன் விட்டுருங்க அவ்வளவுதான். ரத்தன் லைவ்.
எஸ் மேம். இல்ல இங்க எனக்கு ஃபுல்லா ஸ்ட்ரீம் ஆகி காமிக்கணும் மேடம். ஒரே சார் வெயிட் ஃபார் a minute sir, we can start. Ma'am, sir can start, ma'am.
Okay, I will start.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. Happy once again happy to welcome you all for the third session of our International Faculty Development Program on Research Challenges and Innovation in Renewable Energy, organized by the Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, AVIT. Distinguished Chief Guest of the Day, Dr. K. Ratnakannan, Associate Professor, Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Anna University, Tamil Nadu. And on behalf of our management, Director, Principal, Vice Principals, and Faculty of Electrical and Electronics Engineering Department, I welcome you, sir. And we are very happy to invite you for the session today. At most, for the 2 days, we get more positive responses and good comments. And all the participants are enjoying the event also. And they have also gave so many comments that they get more information regarding their research aspect in this pandemic situation also. So thank you, sir. I welcome you on behalf of all the participants too. So they are very eager to listen, and even we got so many messages, where is the live like that. So we are very eager to start the program now. I'm also very happy to invite all the participants who are all waiting for us here. Thank you once again for all. Now it's time to start the program. Before that, Dr. Bhubadi will introduce our chief guest. Thank you.
Bhubadi sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ratan. Happy evening to all who are presenting in this webinar. I join with Dr. L. Chitra Madam and Ratan sir for welcome once again for this research webinar. It is my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. K. Ratnakannan, Associate Professor and Head of Embedded System Technology, Anna University, Chennai. He is graduated in BE, ME, PhD in Anna University, Chennai in the area of nanotechnology application to electrical engineering. PDF from University of Aveiro, Portugal. His area of specializations are nanotechnology, nanoelectronics, MEMS, green energy harvesting, embedded system. Presently, he is guiding 3 PhD students under the Anna University in the area of nanotechnology and solar system. He published 20 papers in a reputed journal and 18 papers, 18 research articles are presented in various conferences and seminars. He published 2 books. First one, E-Material in Digital Electronic Circuits, Basic Electrical Electronics Engineering in second book. In 2004, he achieved the Best Faculty Award from Anna University. He visited Italy, Portugal, Germany, UAE for research interaction meet. This is the introduction. Just a small concept about this webinar. The aim of this webinar is to analyze and discuss the possible research potential in the renewable energy sources. Mainly, we are focusing on wind, solar, biomass power plant. Last 2 days, we had a discussion on wind energy system by 2 professors, K. Bhubadi from National Institute of Wind Energy Technology, Wind Energy, and Mr. Sendil Kumar from NIT. Today's section is going to speak about nanotechnology, application to solar cell system. Now, I hand over to guest speaker, Dr. K. Ratnakannan sir, for further presentation. Thank you, sir, for accepting your invitation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bhubadi, and thank you, Mrs. Chitra, for the introduction. It gives me an immense pleasure to be part of this event. I appreciate your effort this pandemic period to deliver or to contribute something to the teaching fraternity and research community. I welcome all the participants and I would like you all to enjoy this event. I'll be concentrating on how this nanotechnology is going to revolutionize the way we use, the way we harness, the way we utilize the electrical energy. With this, let me start my presentation. I always use this caption, no fear, nano is near. Of course, nanotechnology is going to provide solution for each and every crisis we have today, including the corona issues, I must say, because nanotechnology is the one which is going to address the problem, whatever we face, whether it is the health sector or energy sector or agriculture sector, anything you take, we have a lot of we have a lot of probability to address all these issues. Uh, Today's title is the potential impact of nanotechnology on renewable energy application. And before that, you must understand what is, first let me introduce the technology. Later I'll highlight the significance of this technology and of course, the important role the nanotechnology is playing in changing the way the renewable energy applications are coming up in the present scenario. Miniaturization is a mantra. That is the mantra of the 21st century that is going to revolutionize the industries in general. There has been an increasing strong market demand for intelligent, robust, multifunctional, low-cost industrial products. That is actually is going to be miniaturization. It's the only viable solution to meet this industrial demand. And if you look at the history, we'll be able to understand how this technology is going to be a change or going to provide the solution for all the problems we face today. If you look at the history, right from the 19th century and today we are in 21st century, for each and every half a century, there was a technology, and that technology has completely revolutionized the way the world has been evolved. For example, look at the first half of the 19th century, textile that has revolutionized. That's the reason why the European nations could control over the entire world. Then the railroad, automobile, and latest, we are witnessing computer. But the first half of this 21st century is going to be not computer, it is going to be nanotechnology. This is a roadmap given by the organization, the various international organizations. So miniaturization technology, if you look at, there are two types of miniaturization technology. One is microsystem technology, the other one is nanotechnology. If you look at the miniaturization, 1 nanometer to 1 mm, that comes under miniaturization technology. If you look at microsystem technology, anything between 1 micron to 1 mm, that comes under microsystem technology. And this can be processed using a top-down approach. And anything between 0.1 nanometer to 0.1 micron, if you look at, that comes under nanotechnology, and we'll be able to process this using bottom-up approach. And this revolution is initiated by the Nobel laureate Richard Feynman in the year 1959. He has used a famous phrase: "There is a plenty of bottom. There is a plenty of room at the bottom." With that, the nanotechnology revolution just started, and we are working on it, and we are going to witness how this is going to change the world. What is nanotechnology? That's very important one. Anything, if you look at anything between 1 to 1 and 100 nanometer, any system, device, material of size 1 to 100 nanometer comes into nanotechnology. And the unique of this particular nanotechnology, the material, system, devices exhibits unique properties because of surface to volume ratio. That's very important one to note. Surface to volume ratio is quite high for nanoparticle, nanosystems. Because of that, unique properties being explored, and we are trying to exploit this particular unique properties for developing new and newer products. It's Nanotechnology basically is an interdisciplinary subject, and we have to involve each and everything. If you are a, of course, you can take on biotechnology, information technology, material science, physics, chemistry. Anyone can work on this technology. Even we have solution for civil engineering, mechanical engineering, and any other technology you take, we will be able to address whatever the problem we have using this nanotechnology. What is unique as far as this particular technology is concerned is nothing but a particle. The particle size is very important one. And we'll be able to classify this particle based on the size and surface morphology and shape. Because of this size, surface morphology, and shape, the particles gives unique properties, better optical properties. For example, look at the solar cell we have today is based on optical properties. We'll be able to this technology to come out with the best of material that can give optical anti-reflection properties. These are the important properties for solar technology. And electronics. Today we are witnessing a lot of development in the computer side because of the development in the nanoelectronics, mechanical, and other surface properties, if you look at, are better in case of nanoparticles. And these behaviors are actually attributed to large surface areas. I said earlier, the nanoparticles, nano devices, nanosystems exhibits unique properties because of the large surface area. Any system you look at, you will be able to easily say it is good based on its surface to volume ratio, whether it is a product or utilization you take. Surface to volume ratio is very important one. So this large surface area is due to surface chemistry, high surface reactivity, surface energy, of course, dimension. We have today zero dimensional, right? One dimensional, two dimensional, three dimensional. For example, if you look at the zero dimensional devices, we'll be able to completely avoid the energy loss. For example, quantum dot. Quantum dot is widely considered as the best material for solar cells. If you look at the zero dimension based systems, the energy loss is completely minimum here. So it gives the best property for any applications. Nanotechnology, of course, is the best, no doubt. How it is going to have an impact on the energy applications, especially the electrical energy applications. And we must look at some of the optical, some of the important properties of properties. We have some of the nano devices for renewable energy. Yes, yes.
Hello, sir. Sir, that voice is breaking. It seems in live. In live, it seems some voice breakage is there. Can we increase the volume in your side, or some adjustments in that headphone? Can you make
maximum?
Okay, maximum headphone adjustment.
No, it is maximum only.
Okay, sir. No okay, sir. Then we proceed because in live they are asking some audio is very low like that. Okay, sir. They will. I'll inform them. Breaking also there. Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Are you able to hear? Is it okay for you, or for everyone is like that?
No. Some in between we have some breaking voice in between.
Sorry, I don't know.
Okay. Proceed, sir. We will see that. Okay. Thank you, sir.
So the implication of nano on energy application, if you look at the important properties like chemical properties, that is very important for battery applications, and that is also fuel cell and solid oxide fuel cells and supercapacitors. Important one. Nano has got a lot of solutions because the surface to volume ratio of the nanomaterials are quite high. So we'll be able to harness the best result out of it. And optical properties, again, if you look at the absorption properties are very important. When if you look at our conventional solars, since the absorption properties are quite high, for example, quantum dot, we'll be able to harness the maximum electrical energy from the solar spectrum. And again, the anti-reflection property is best here. And mechanical properties are very important for application like wind energy systems. Wind energy system, if you look at the cost of the wind energy, right, is quite high because of the maintenance issue. For example, if you look at your wind turbines, the cost, right, 1/3 is meant for the wind blade. And the wind blade is expected to be replaced for every once in 4 years. So quite expensive, right? When you go for a nano-based solution for a wind blade, as well as for modeling the machines, electrical machines using nanomaterials, we'll be able to extend the lifetime to at least some 15 to 20 years. So that's going to really reduce the cost of the equipment, cost of the systems. And electronic side, we have the best solution here. Of course, the ballistic electronics properties are very much used. And the ballistic is very important. For example, solar cell, if you look at the electron is not going to directly travel. It's going to come across a lot of collision because of this, lot of losses, right? Whereas if you look at the quantum dot kind of structure or CND-based structures, ballistic electronic property can be easily used. That's going to give us really the best properties. And thermal side, of course, heat, right? Heat can be, we'll be able to have best thermal insulator using this. So these are the important properties we'll have to look at for developing some of the nano systems. Of course, the nanotechnology and nanomaterials have the best properties. That let us look at the various application of nanotechnology, exclusively for the energy applications. A lot of structures, right? We have nanostructures, for example, lightweight structures, multifunctional devices will be able to have this. That is quite impossible with our conventional system. Only one, right? Multifunctional systems we can have here. And these generation we can have ultra capacitor. Of course, multifunctional generators, the energy generators, energy harvesters are possible here. Similarly, on sensor and electronic side, we have a lot of application. Today we have a supercomputer. Tomorrow we are going to have, once nano electronic devices are available in the market, we'll be able to come out with a supercomputer in our hand. That's the advantage of this nanotechnology. Now let us look at the renewable energy application of nanotechnology. Of course, this particular slide gives an overall idea how the energy, right, availability of the energy. Fossil fuel on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, we have the renewable energy sources, right? Almost the comparison, if you look at the renewable energy availability is quite high, right? Several fold, I must say, whereas the fossil fuel availability is very less. But if you look at this particular slide, you'll have a different understanding, right? If you look at this particular slide, right, about 90%, 85% of the energy is through the conventional energy sources. Only 15% is through the renewable energy sources. And again, if you look at the solar is 0.039% one. It's quite low. But if you look at this particular slide, you can understand the availability of the solar spectrum is huge, right? If you can harness this energy, that is more than enough for even a one day energy is more than enough for the entire world to survive for a year. That's a message. So what is lagging here? The present technology, if you look at whatever we have, not technology, the conventional technology, if you use to harness the renewable energy, it is impossible for us to satisfy the world energy demand. So there is a great need for improvement, and this can be, India, government of India has set a goal, establish about 173 gigawatt of renewable energy sources by 2022, and about 75 gigawatt, and the rest are to be processed. But again, look at this, the amount of money we'll have to spend, again, the resources we require to establish this is quite high. Whereas this technology can give us sustainable, right? So that's very important. Sustainable energy and with low cost, that's advantage. Let us look at why it is sustainable or how it is going to be low cost. In general, if you look at the nano, in general for energy generations, uh, including the conventional as well as renewable energy sources, it has a lot of solutions. Nano coated, for example, look at our conventional energy sources, able to increase the lifespan of the lifespan as well as the efficiency of the conventional system. And if you look at the other application like the power plant, right? Wind and tide power plant with the conventional system only, lighter as well as it's going to be lighter, and we'll be able to come out with corrosion-free systems for tidal as well as wind turbines. Nanotechnology is going to play a very decisive role, particularly in the intensified use of solar energy, I must say, through photovoltaic systems, because it's going to have any anti-reflection layer. And whatever the incident light comes, only 15% maximum is getting absorbed, the rest are getting reflected. Whereas when you go for a nanotechnology, we'll be able to have anti-reflection layer that will make sure that the incident photon is completely absorbed, if not completely, at least 60 to 70% of percentage of the incident photons are absorbed. So that's going to really very useful. We'll be able to increase the efficiency almost 3 to 4 times. And we also can look at the size of the solar cells. Of course, the conventional solar cell is relatively macro, whereas the nano-based solar cells, thin layers are nano in dimension, so small, and the amount of material you require for processing such a solar cells are very less. And today we are working on copper, indium selenide, gallium arsenide, gallium, indium, and again molybdenum disulfide, molybdenum diselenide. These are some of the materials people are working on, and with that it is possible for us to not only increase the efficiency of the system, we also will be able to increase the lifetime. That's a message we get from this particular technology. And we also have the solar cells based on polymer, and the cost of polymer is extremely very cheap, and we'll be able to develop right polymer solar cells. The advantage of it, we'll be able to have a portable electronic device, right? It is very flexible. Plastics in general is very flexible. So flexible solar cells will be able to process, and you can have any system, even you can have bag, handbag, everything based on this kind of polymer solar cell. Nanotechnology, and again I said earlier, as wide applications, not only for electrical and electronics applications. You will pick anything. Very particularly in case of electrical application, you look at the energy sources, change, right? Energy change. We'll be able to have different energy change, electromechanical systems, and then energy distribution, power transmission, smart grid, heat transfer, energy storage system, energy usage system. All, if you look at, we have solutions. For example, look at the energy change. We will be able to increase the lifespan of such a system. Nano composites will be able to have electrical motors, right? And losses can be reduced. For example, carbon nanotube is as a winding material. We can have a composite of carbon nanotubes. It's possible to reduce the resistance, right? The contact is several fold. Through experiment, we observed the conductivity of the material carbon nanotube based winding materials is old, and that will definitely help us to reduce the loss. Various energy applications based on nanotech. In countries, they are developing, right? The smart city is a new concept, and that is actually where is now building smart cities. One of the required smart cities concerns self-signed building anything you take, you'll be able to use nanotechnology for building a smart city. Coming to the renewable energy applications, of course, we have various domains like photovoltaic, solar cell based, then wind energy, geothermal, and hydrogen energy. And we have solution based solution for all this energy application based on nanotechnology. For example, look at the solar system and hydrogen production. These two are the very important renewable energy applications. The photovoltaic cells, of course, will be able to reduce the production cost to greater extent. And today you look at the cost of the solar cell is very less. And the cost of this electrical energy, even in India, the cost of one unit is about today, the production cost is about 1 rupees 50 paise. And in future, it is going to be reduced to greater extent with the advancement that's witnessed in the nanotechnology area. On the other side, hydrogen production, of course, that is also considered one of the viable mechanisms. And we have nanostructure material for hydrogen storage, because the nanomaterials offers quite high surface to volume ratio. Because of that, we'll be able to store as much as possible with hydrogen with the nanostructured materials. And absorption capacity is quite high here. And this is quite cheaper compared to the conventional solid fuel cell systems. And one of the main advantage of the nanotechnology is it enables us to come out with a multifunctional as well as integrated energy system, energy harvesting system. For example, solar cell. We have a solar cell, and the spectrum, visible spectrum only we are able to today you harness, or we'll be able to convert as electrical energy. But in nanotechnology enable us to touch not only the visible spectrum, also the ultraviolet and the infrared region, right? Complete wider spectrum we'll be able to have. So infrared as well as ultraviolet and the visible spectrum will be able to harness and convert that into electrical energy. And we also have thermoelectric generators and fuel cell, then pyroelectric energy system, right? Temperature to, right? For example, look at the solar cell. Solar cell only converts the light into electrical energy, but you have in the ambience a lot of heat, and the heat can be converted into electrical energy. And you also have some of the fuel cells mimics like photosynthesis, right? Like a plant, and you with the solar light will be able to harness electric energy. Artificial photosynthesis always possible. So integrate all this. That is also very important one, right? If you want a systems, we have to integrate the energy is enough for the application. So we get a sustainable one. Now let us look at the implication of nano on PV cells. And the very important properties of this photo.
Excuse me, Ratnakannan sir.
There is some network issue, it seems. His screen is totally not at all visible. Sir, his voice is not at all audible now.
Ratan, can you call sir in phone and inform?
Yes, ma'am. I think he got disconnected also, ma'am.
Okay, call panna ennan paakalam. We will check it out.
Hello.
Yes, sir. There was some issue, network issue.
Audio problem is there.
Signal cutter.
Sir, there was some network issue. Bandwidth is an issue, I think, sir, because overall during the speech also, your voice was getting cut.
No, my side or
Yes, sir. Your side.
Your
Audio
side.
is alone breaking, sir. Audio breakage is there.
the signal is full only right now.
Maybe can you hold that mic closer, sir? If possible, can you hold that mic closer?
Yes. 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 Hello.
And now it is very clear, and I think you should also mute your video, sir. That will also help us in saving the bandwidth.
Okay, today we will try that also, sir.
Please.
Okay. Okay. Shall I mute?
Okay, sir. Now it is clear. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You mute your video and proceed, sir.
Hello.
Yes, you can proceed, sir.
Shall I proceed?
Again, breaking.
Mute you please do so. Hello.
I'm doing, sir.
Okay. Hello. Yeah. Shall I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Shall I proceed? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes,
thank
sir.
you. Sorry for the disturbance. Implication of nano on PV cell. Yeah, I proceed. Activities are very important properties as far as any PV cells are concerned. And these three properties we'll have to consider for developing any solar cells. And if you look at nanotechnology, it gives relatively high surface to volume ratio, almost 100 and to 1,000 times, it may say, depends on the material and size, shape, and morphology of particular material. With that, we'll be able to enhance the solar energy collections. By this, we will be able to increase the efficiency of the solar cells. For example, look at the carbon nanotube, fullerenes, and quantum dots. These materials are widely used and widely researched for developing solar cells because it's light in weight, cheap, very cheap, and more efficient. And we'll be able to develop some kind of vertical laying CNTs because the structure also is going to help us to increase the surface area, and this increases the amount of light that can be collected through the solar cell. And very important aspect of the solar cell is to have high efficiency. For example, look at lead selenide. This is widely researched across most of the academic institutions because this material costs months. The more electron will be able to have more, and additionally, structural properties also will be able to add so that we'll be able to the solar cells. And a very important aspect of solar cell is concerned the morphology, right? Optimization of the link with any of the modeling device. Once you complete that for processing it, right? It is very important one. In the long run, if you look at the utilization of the nanostructure,
I think there is some problem with the host network. I will check with sir. He's back.
The conventional solar cells gives commercially will be able to have 15%, and if you look at the silicon research wise, if you look at, we'll be able to harness up to 20 to 22% efficiency. There is the research outcomes based on some of the nanomaterials. We will be able to observe about 70% of efficiency, almost four times of the commercially viable solar cells is quite high, and we'll be able to accordingly reduce the amount of material we require and the area required to harness energy. That's big news for us. Look at this particular slide. On the left-hand side, you have the conventional solar structure. On the right-hand side, you have the nano. Size, if you look at the conventional nano, is quite high, right? You have metal, active, and ITO related nano-based solar cells, small relatively compared, almost 1/3 of the conventional solar cells. And if you look at this particular solar cell, here, the incident photons, right, the sunlight is getting reflected, whereas here, everything is getting absorbed because of the absorption coefficient. And again, the surface morphology will be able to have some kind of surface morphology with that maximum energy will be able to harness. This is a typical structure of any nano-based photovoltaic cells. If you look at the down, we have a rear contact. On top of that absorber layer we have. Then we have transparent conducting oxide layer. On top of that, we have anti-reflection coating. That's very important. The anti-reflection coating will make sure that the incident photon is absorbed maximum, and the efficiency of the solar cell is quite high. So, if you look at nano, we have variety of nano based photovoltaic cells. Quantum dot, we have quantum rod, carbon nanotube based, graphene based, and semiconductor. You look at the periodic table, group 3 and group 5, a lot of semiconductors are available, and people are working on to develop some composites based on a material, gallium arsenide, gallium indium arsenide. So we will be able to have maximum energy, because gallium arsenide, if you look at wider band gap, so even ultraviolet will be able to harness through this particular solar cells. And we also have thin film PV cells, for example, cadmium telluride, then copper indium gallium selenide, CIGS, that is widely considered because cost is cheaper and gives the best efficiency relatively, and the lifespan is quite high, almost 5 to 6 times of the conventional solar cells. If you look at our conventional solar cells, about some 8 years is the lifespan, whereas CIGS or any other thin film solar cell can long last for at least some 20 to 30 years. We also will be able to have multifunctional and integrated energy harvesters, multi-junctions, right? If you want your infrared, your ultraviolet, and visible spectrum to be completely harnessed, then the multi-junction solar cells are widely need to be used, and that's widely used. And a lot of research going on as of now across the world and developing multi-junction, right, based on thin film, again, thin film technology based multi-junction solar cells. Then we have polymer PV cells, dye-sensitive solar cells, perovskite. That's very new, and it gives a lot of hope that one or other day we'll be able to commercially process perovskite PV cells. And the advantage of this, it gives best efficiency compared to our conventional solar cell, and it is highly reliable, and the lifetime is quite high compared to any other solar cells in the systems. And if you look at this particular slide, it gives a kind of idea, right? I said earlier that anti-reflection nanostructure, very thin structure on top of the solar cell, this help us. For example, look at this. We have this kind of structure, nano diamonds, right? A few 1 or nano meter thickness of this kind of structure, right, will allow us to increase the deflection, reflection, and absorb the maximum the photons, so that the energy is quite high. CNT PV cell, if you look at that is widely researched, not commercially available, but the advantage of this particular solar cell, the electron comes like a bullet, right? Ballistic transport, right? Without any collision, without a loss of energy, it will reach the cell. So maximum electron, right? No loss across, no heat across, this will be able to harness. And as of now, the best solar cell based on quantum dot also is widely researched. If you look at the quantum dot, is a tunable one. So you'll be able to near infrared absorption. Of course, we'll be able to tune it. That's very important. Look at the silicon. Silicon bandwidth is 1 point, able to tune it. slight tuning is possible, we'll be able to tune me. Hello. Yeah. Thank you. The quantum dot solar cells are, it is a tunable one, and you can select hello. Hello. Hello.
Sir,
Hello.
sir, now you start the session. I will check, sir, whether it's breaking.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Ah.
Sir, for a few minutes you were not at all audible, sir.
Oh, sorry. Full signal.
No, signal strength will be there, sir, always. But I think there is some bandwidth issues because of the region where we are. So just please, I think you can shift a bit somewhere if it is possible, or then you can.
Best place. No, in the இடத்துல இதுதான் best place, I think so.
Okay, okay, sir. Now it is
correct.
okay.
Now it is okay, sir. You can continue.
In between, we don't know how it is breaking.
It was raining.
Okay, okay,
Oh,
okay. Maybe because of that
problem.
Okay, sir. பரவாயில்ல, என்ன பண்ண முடியும்? Network issue
It
தான்.
was raining until 3:30 வரைக்கும் raining.
அது நீங்க 2-3 லைன்ஸ் பேசும்போது கொஞ்சம் அப்படி இதாகுது சார். கண்டினியூஸா பேசும்போது இப்ப கொஞ்சம் அப்படி பிரேக் ஆகுது. அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு கண்டினியூஸ் ஃப்ளோ வரும்போது அந்த டிஸ்டர்பன்ஸ் தெரியுது. Okay, sir. We will try our maximum. No problem. We will see the PPT is very clear for us, sir. No issues in that. Okay, sir. We will proceed.
I'll proceed.
Okay, okay, sir.
And shall I start? Shall I continue? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Nanorod energy harvesters are widely now considered in order to have sustainable energy generation. For example, look at this particular slide. We've got two different functionalities here. One is harvesting energy through the photovoltaic cell, the other one through nanorod, and of course the nanorod is based on piezoelectric principles, and the pressure induced due to the wind that is actually converting the electrical energy the photon, right, the light based electrical energy combined will be able to not only increase relatively sustainable one. These are some of the advantage of the thin film photovoltaic cells. Multiple reflections will be able to have. The optical path, because of the multiple reflection, we got a lot of reflectors. Because of that, the optical path for absorption is much larger than the actual film thickness. That's quite big news because you will be able to reduce the cost of the production, right? Because the efficiency is going to be high. Then light generated electrons and holes need to travel over much shorter path, and thus recombination losses are less in this case. Whereas in case of conventional solar cell, the recombination loss is quite high, almost for 10 to 15%, that can be completely avoided in case of thin film based photovoltaic cells. And the energy band gap of this solar cells can be tuned, and we'll be able to select, right? For example, region-based solar cells will be able to process that will help us to increase the efficiency. These are the some of the development. Of course, today we have amorphous silicon-based solar cells, and you will be able to have a rooftop, and of course, some of the handbags or anything else you take, even a mobile phone. We'll be able to simply place this solar thin films and harness the energy. And tomorrow we are going to have this kind of setup, right? Instead of simply painting the walls, we can have a thin film and harness energy. So the plan, the entire world is now working on to come out with high efficiency solar cells. With that, it is possible to meet the entire energy requirement of society or country. And another very important aspect of the solar cell and the development is that if you look at energy harvesting in geosynchronous space, like well, Earth orbit or geosynchronous space, if you look at the sunlight is available 24 hours a day, almost throughout the year you'll be able to have sunlight. There is no day-night concept. So you'll be able to harness, if you deploy a solar cell in a geosynchronous space, you'll be able to harness energy continuously. And one of the requirements as far as this kind of systems, you will have to have wider bandgap materials, something like a gallium nitride, gallium arsenide, or other nano structure-based materials, because silicon cannot withstand, because the electromagnetic spectrum, right? We have ultraviolet as well as infrared. Ultraviolet silicon cannot withstand ultraviolet, so the best one is gallium nitride. Today all the satellites for several years. The concept behind this particular space, right? You will be able to harness energy. How do you transmit? That's quite challenging when today people are trying to use microwave as well as transmission. Just to harness the electrical energy, right? Then convert that into microwave or laser, then transmit to the ground station. This is not going to have any impact on the environment. It has been demonstrated. Now in US as well as China, a lot of development is taking place. Sooner or later, they're going to have energy harvesting, right, from the geosynchronous space using photovoltaic system that's going to ensure that we'll be able to continuously receive the electric energy. We don't need any storage now, right? As these systems are going to continuously feed the energy, continuously use the power. So because there's no day-night concept there, the sunlight is available throughout the year. That's a concept, so quite interesting one. So together, if you look at the cost of, that's a very important one. The affordability is very important one. Then the cost of the energy is very important one. It has been observed through the various assessment that the cost of the solar energy, right, whatever you take, whether it is thermoelectric or photovoltaic or any other means you take, the cost of the solar cell based energy is quite low. Just look at this, it is very lower cost, but efficiency, what is the challenging one is to have high efficiency, right? In the research direction, if you look at all academic institutions have demonstrated they are able to develop a high efficient system. But the problem when you go for a mass scale production, we'll have to compromise on that. So now the research, if you look at how to develop such a system in mass scale, that's a quite challenging one. Just a comparison. This is a comparison of the performance comparison of the various solar cells. For example, look at the conventional one, the monocrystalline, right, and the multi-junction commercial one, right? Whatever I have shown here are based on commercial reports, right? The solar cells performances. The monocrystalline gives about 25%. Production, if you look at 15 to 20. And whereas you look at the multi-junction, it gives about 36%, right? You will be able to use either gallium arsenide or amorphous silicon. With that, it is possible for us to come out with 36% of efficiency. Multi-junction means we are including not only the visible spectrum, also the ultraviolet. That's the reason why we are able to harness quite high efficiency here. So the advantage, the main advantage, the solar cells, if you look at, it improves the efficiency, because cost is lower and very flexible because it's thin film, and you can easily use it anywhere as you wish. That's the advantage of this photovoltaic cells. These are some of the research-based outcome on the photovoltaic cells. Multi-junction concentrating photovoltaic CPV. As far as this particular device is concerned, this has give the experimentations so that 52% of efficiency, and copper indium gallium diselenide CIGS and cadmium telluride devices demonstrate that together we'll be able to have about 24 to 23% respectively. Some band gap can be tuned. The advantage of this lifespan is quite high and highly rugged, this kind of solar cells. And single junction silicon device, if you look at the efficiency is being demonstrated with nanoscale, of course, 28%. And look at this, the photovoltaic devices. One of the requirement is maintenance. Maintenance must be low, right? As far as nano-based solar cells are concerned, when you look at the maintenance, of course, due to temperature and again due to the environment, like due to wind pollutions, the solar cells performance is getting degraded. Whereas when you go for something like a nano-based systems, there won't be any formation of dust or dust on top of the solar cells, because the solar cells surface morphology is so fine, so that cannot sit on it. And wind, of course, will be able to convert that into electrical energy, so it won't degrade the performance of the solar cells. And heat, right? Heat energy also can be harnessed. So the efficiency is increased to several fold, and lifetime will be 25 years at least. This is the some of the research outcome we have today from some of the leading research organizations. The next topic is the impact of nanotechnology on wind energy applications area. Of course, solar cells we see it's going to revolutionize the way we use today we consume the electrical energy. And the other side, wind energy, that is also one of the important renewable energy sources. One of the main concern here, the maintenance and again the cost, right? The cost of wind plant quite high. When you go for a nano-based solution for developing wind plant, right? The lifetime is increased, and the the wind plants are highly rugged and can harness as much as possible. For example, look at one of the requirements as far as the wind plants are concerned. The wind blade must be as lengthy as possible. That's the requirement, because the power generated is directly proportional to the square of the length of the wind plant. With the conventional system, we have some constraints there because of the weight, right? Whereas when you opt for some kind of nano-based solutions, the nano-based systems are strong but very light in weight. So we can go for as lengthy as possible. So we'll be able to harness maximum energy through this wind blade and wind plant. So composite materials being used, carbon nanotubes, graphene are widely considered because of light in weight and high strength. So we'll be able to come out with the rotor blades of lengthy, right? So that maximum energy will be able to harness. And we can also consider carbon nanotube composite as material, right? Wind turbine material, because it provides excellent conductivity, and you can increase the lifespan just like that. That's the advantage of this particular nanotechnology for wind application. This is a commercially developed one and is widely used in Netherlands. You know, well, Netherlands is known for wind energy, right? The entire country depends on the wind energy. They have developed one such wind plant, wind blade using nanotechnology. Look at this. It is based on nanoparticles, right? Coated with nanoparticles, so no corrosion, no damage. Thermal insulation is quite high, light in weight. So this is the best one, and it's been demonstrated that this can be used for harnessing the maximum energy. So CNT composite, they have used a CNT composite and build this kind of wind plant and the wind blade, right? The tower height to, if you look at the tower height and the wind blade length, that's very important one. Higher the wind, the larger the length of the blade, right? You will be able to harness more energy. That is demonstrated with the CNT based nanomaterials. And the next one is about the fuel cell, right? Hydrogen storage, and of course, energy generation through hydrogen, right? Bloom fuel cell technology, you would have heard about it. It has become now quite famous across the US, North America, especially in US. A company called Bloom Energy Corporation, they have developed this particular one. And this is just quite opposite to the conventional. The conventional one, the electrolyte is liquid, whereas here they have gone for some kind of solid oxide, right? Solid oxide electrolyte, and of course two electrodes. If you look at, one is green, the other one is black. They named so. It is based on some kind of platinum composite, and the electrolyte is yttrium based material, and because of this, the cost is look at the performance. As far as the performance concerned, the temperature, operating temperature is quite low. It's about some 200 to 300 degrees Celsius, whereas the conventional fuel cells or solid oxide fuel cells, look at, it's about 800 to 1200 degrees Celsius. So big achievement here, and we'll be able to reverse, right? The reversible concept you can have, energy generation and storage concept, both are possible. So reversibility also is possible. It cost is very low, and each of this cell will look like our conventional floppy disk, right? Each one can give about 25 watts, and you can stack some 100 and get 2.5 kilowatt of energy. And major multinational companies in the US are now completely dependent on this Bloom Energy, and they don't use the service of the utility companies. They completely dependent on the Bloom Energy, right? Almira size Bloom Energy server is more than enough for typical industries. So they are now completely dependent on this particular one. The advantage is the nanomaterial, right? The electrolyte is nanomaterial, electrode, everything is nanomaterial. The amount of material required to build such a solid oxide fuel cell is very less, and we'll be able to harness maximum energy. One, because of the surface area. The other one is because the operating temperature is very low. So such systems are known as energy server, right? This solid oxide fuel cell based systems are known as energy server. The present scenario, they model about 100 kilowatt of power to 1 megawatt, and now they are working on to develop some kind of solution for domestic applications. That's going to be 2.5 kilowatt. They are working on it, and anytime from now we'll be able to get such systems that will look like a small UPS, right? You can keep it in your home and harness energy through such a Bloom Energy server. The requirement for example, look at such a domestic Bloom Energy server may require about a 4 kg of biomass that easily you will be able to generate from the waste you have in your home. So the input is very less. At 4 kg, if you look at, will be around somewhere around some 100 rupees, and you will be able to meet all your energy demand throughout the year without any issues. That's a big news for us. And one of the city in US now completely depend on the Bloom Energy server, and they have built microgrid based on Bloom Energy server. And this is going to take us to completely different world, right? We witness what the computing, right? A big systems, vacuum tube based system to nano devices today, and small size, right? The computing system, laptop now, right? Such a big system now has become very small one. Similarly, telephony, look at, today we have a mobile phone, very small handheld devices. Something similar to that. This Bloom Energy is going to revolutionize the world, right? We are not going to have a big transmission system or generating stations. We'll have this kind of systems. This system is more than enough for a big community. That's the news for us. So Bloom Energy altogether, if you look at, the efficiency is quite high. Emission, right? I can't classify this completely under conventional or non-conventional energy sources, because the input is biomass, right? We'll have to give some biomass or gas. So it depends on the kind of input you're going to provide. You can understand, right? Look at this carbon dioxide emission. Bloom-based system, if you go for natural gas, it consumes quite high, emits quite high carbon dioxide. Whereas when you go for biogas, it is extremely low and it is negligible. So people are now trying to develop bloom energy based on biogas, right? You'll have to give the biogas and water. Because of this biogas, water split is taking place in the fuel cell, and we'll be able to harness because of the split, the electron can be harnessed, and enough energy continuously be able to get through this kind of fuel cells. And now they are trying, as I said earlier, some kind of solution for domestic applications, right? That is more than enough to meet all your demand, including the electric vehicles. If you want to charge it, that is also can be easily met through the Bloom Energy Server. That's great news for us. And we also have some solutions for battery, right? Nanotechnology has a lot of advantages I mentioned earlier. As far as the battery is concerned, the storage capacity can be increased. For example, ruthenium oxide, right? Today we witness lithium ion, right? Lithium ion gives the best efficiency because of the DOD, depth of discharge, is very high compared to our conventional batteries, and small in size, and we'll be able to quickly charge compared to the conventional battery, right? And tomorrow we are going to witness completely different batteries, right? We are going to have something called ruthenium oxide based batteries, sodium based batteries, all are because of the nanotechnology. The advantage such batteries are going to have high surface area, so more current will be able to store more, we can store more, and the capacity also going to be higher in this case. And the lifespan is quite high. The lithium, one of the advantages of lithium ion batteries, increased lifespan. And when you go for a new nano structure, nanotube, carbon nanotube, or graphene, or ruthenium oxide based batteries, lifetime is increased to 10 times of the conventional battery. That's the great news for us. And of course, it is highly stable, and without any toxic issues, we'll be able to handle these batteries. And we also have a lot of solutions, supercapacitor, right? One of the advantage supercapacitor, quickly you can charge and discharge, but the disadvantage, the rating is very poor, right? And now nanotechnology has got, we have a lot of development in the nanotechnology side to develop a relatively high power rating supercapacitor and reversible oxide based fuel cell. Of course, solid oxide based fuel cells can be used for generation, whereas the reversible solid oxide fuel cell based system can be used the battery. So you can generate, if you go for solid oxide fuel cell, you'll be able to generate as well as store the energy. That's a good message. At the end, I would like to um, share some of the other development that is taking place in renewable energy. Of course, something related to renewable energy. Smart grid, right? Smart grid is viable because of this technology, I must say, because a transmission line, for example, take today the loss in transmission line about some 20 to 30%. In India, it is about 40%. If you go for nano-based solutions, not only the cost, right? Instead of copper, right? Copper is quite expensive. We cannot afford copper, whereas we can afford aluminum. But aluminum is very poor conductor, so loss is quite high, right? So what we can do, we can go for some kind of nanomaterial, 40 nanometer aluminum. This is being demonstrated in one of the city in US, that they have revamped the entire transmission line using aluminum base, right? Aluminum based transmission line. It is 40 nanometer aluminum material that gives the best conductivity. That's best news, right? About 10 times better than our copper. 40 nanometer aluminum gives 10 times better conductivity than the copper. So the cost is very low, right? And you have best efficiency. Losses almost reduced. So smart grid, right? We'll be able to have a lot of electronics, communication facilities, information technology, and then of course the security means using nanotechnology. So real smart grid will be able to developed using nanotechnology. Materials for electrical machines, so lossless system to greater extent will be able to develop with this technology. And very importantly, power electronics, right? A lot of because the power electronics, well, a lot of harmonics is getting induced. We'll be able to reduce it with some of the materials. So some research trends show that sooner or later we'll be able to completely avoid the harmonics because of the material, right? The harmonics is due to the switching action. We'll be able to have a fine switching using some of the nanomaterials. The nanomaterial surface chemistry, surface physics are completely different, so that we'll be able to completely avoid the harmonics. So power electronic system is going to be completely revamped, and with that we'll be able to definitely feed any energy, right? Any form of energy into this grid. So with this, I take this opportunity to thank the organizer for giving me this opportunity. I request the participants, if you have any clarification, you please.
You can stop your slide share.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ratanakan sir, you can also switch on your video so that audience can see that everything. Those who are interested can raise their hand so that we can allow them one by one to ask questions.
You have stopped the video, right? You have the control.
Is it so?
Yeah.
Let me check, sir.
Ratan, can you open my video?
Yes.
Ratan,
Yes.
sir?
Yeah.
Ratan.
Yeah. It's available now. Yes.
Yeah, fine, sir.
So since bandwidth problem was there, and I was so one to control.
Okay,
so
okay. Now it's okay. Ratan, can you open my video? My video is
open, sir. Opened.
Ratnakannan sir,
Yeah.
the session was very nice, and
thank you.
so many
Sorry, there was
things.
some issue because of the bandwidth.
No issue, sir. No, sir. But the presentation was very clear for us. It was showing all the descriptions. However, it can be used in renewable energy, because most of them do not know how MEMS or nano will come in renewable energy system, and now they will be very much clear how the application of nano and MEMS takes place in renewable energy system. So you have given a vast explanations, are very clear about all the applications, starting from solar, because nowadays everybody is looking into solar cells only. So it was very clear for us how it can be observed instead of reflected. And some topics are also interesting: artificial photosynthesis and batteries. You have told supercapacitors, and these are all very interesting topics. And I think most of them will start doing research in nano also, instead of going with the power electronics and power systems. It's a chance for most of them to understand more things in nanoparticles also. And some questions are there. Maybe Ratan, you can see that which I have sent one or two questions from the video. We got it, YouTube link.
But we will any participant in the Zoom can willing to ask questions. You can raise your hand and I will unmute you. No one is raising the hand, sir. So we have a question.
Ratan, I received the two.
No. Let me put this question to sir, which we got from YouTube, because a lot of followers are there in YouTube also posting a question.
Okay. Go ahead.
This was that the question was what part of turbine can be used with carbon nanotubes? Kamesh Prakash, okay. Kamesh Prakash, who used to work with us earlier, has posted this question in YouTube, sir.
Yeah.
Can you please answer, sir?
Each and every part of, right, as far as turbine is concerned, each and every part will be able to come out with one of the requirement. It must be light in weight, but at the same time it has to be strong, right? Strong enough to rotate. So any part you take in the case of turbine, we'll be able to consider, especially the blade. If you look at, we can use the carbon nanotube composite. We'll be able to increase not only the lifespan, also the efficiency, the performances, especially the blade of the turbine we can have through the nano composite materials.
Okay. Bhuvaji sir, you can put one question. till we get some.
Ratan sir.
Yes, yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. We had a nice presentation.
Thank you.
And some technical issues is not a big problem, but the slides are very nice.
Thank
Okay,
you.
I have two questions
Yes, sir.
from the participants.
Hmm.
One is regarding the temperature, sir.
Hmm.
Up to what temperature we can use the nanomaterials, sir? So in the solar cell or any
For example, look at one of the problem. If you look at a conventional solar cells, the solar cells are developed to function in 25 degrees Celsius, right? The operating temperature in the junction is greater than 25 degrees Celsius. The performance degradation is going to be witnessed. It's going to be heat, right? The electron, right? Whatever the electron is getting absorbed, if it is not converted into completely, the photon is not completely converted into electrical energy, then it is going to be absorbed as heat. And the junction temperature is 25 degrees Celsius in the conventional system. Whereas if you take nano material, it is possible to have up to 100, right? Not all, but some of the research demonstrate that we will be able to have up to 60 degrees Celsius in the present scenario. But
up to, sir?
Up to 60 degrees Celsius.
60.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fine, sir. Sir, another one regarding the efficiency. You said we can improve the efficiency using nanomaterial.
Yes.
But the normal solar cell is efficiency 18 to 20 only, sir. But if you are using normal, if you are using nano cell, what is the maximum efficiency we can obtain?
Today, it is being demonstrated 70% efficiency is possible with nano based PV cells. That is the laboratory experiment, research outcome. But when you go for commercial, definitely we'll be able to achieve at least 45% efficiency. This is going to be at least 2 to 3 fold.
3, 4.
Okay.
Three. The another one is the availability of the nanomaterials. Getting the material is the biggest problem in our Tamil Nadu or India. Where you can get the materials?
We'll have to process. No, we don't have anything. We'll have to process it. There are some companies, if you are very specific, for example, 60 nanometer of particular material, that can be order and get. But if you are looking for something different, right, you'll have to synthesize it.
Sir, is it possible to get the CNTs or copper and
yeah, that is very much available. Commercially, it is now available. You can purchase this through various online shopping, right? Or through any agents, you'll be able to have. Carbon nanotube is very much available. But quite
available in available in India, sir?
Yes, yes. It's very much available.
No, yes. We have to get it from the foreign only, but India is not available.
No, it is available.
India
a lot of now commercial organizations are processing this carbon nanotube. It is very much available. But again, the if you look at the commercially available carbon nanotube is quite expensive.
Yeah,
if you want to have cheaper, then you'll have to process it. There is no other way. You'll have to process it. There are various means of CNT process, chemical method, physical method. Use any one of this method to process it.
So thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Now I hand over to Madam. Madam, you can take it.
Chitra, Madam, Ratan, any questions in the chat box?
Yes, ma'am. There is a question whether the carbon nanotube used in aeroplane are the same.
No, there are variety of carbon nanotube. In fact, we'll have to for photovoltaic application, we'll have to opt for semiconductor carbon nanotube, not the other one, right? For aircraft, we have to go for completely different one. We should not opt for the semiconductor carbon nanotube, right? It depends on the application. For photovoltaic application, semiconductor carbon nanotube must be used. Whereas for application like aircraft, that is different. We can go for a single wall carbon nanotube with a zigzag structure.
This is how we have, sir, some participants, because there was some audio issues, some participants have requested for the PPT, so that we will.
Ratan, I have the PPT. I'll send it. I'll send you.
If sir gives permission, we can.
No, if with sir's permission only, we can send it to the
madam, you can hit all. We'll discuss later. Hit all, you can give to anyone. I'll take it.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, Ratan.
Ma'am, shall I wind up, ma'am?
One more question that Prakash have asked is about how come that nano can increase the energy density of Bloom server? He's asking some explanation in that, sir.
Bloom server, if you look at, I can't talk in terms of current density, but I can speak in terms of performance and cost. If you look at the conventional fuel in general fuels, the electrolyte is liquid, whereas here it's solid, so very easy for us to process it. And one of the main advantage of this particular bloom energy server, the operating temperature about some 200 to 300 degrees Celsius you'll have to maintain. That will be able to easily achieve by any biogas or any natural gas available, right? I don't have to have a big system to process it. Now, as of now, they are working on to come out with a portable one for about some 2.5 kilowatt that is going to cost around some 1.5 lakhs of Indian rupees, and that is going to continuously feed you energy, right? 24 hours a day you'll be able to harness. All you require only 4 kilogram of biogas. So the advantage, big advantage, you can operate it with very less temperature compared to the conventional one. That's about 800 to 1200 degrees Celsius. It's not possible for us to maintain such a temperature with a small system. That's the advantage. I don't think, or I can't contest in terms of current density.
Okay, sir. I think we can give message to everyone that we can maintain our clean and green environment with the successful implementation of all these things. As we can also conclude this, I think. Okay, sir. Very much thank you for your presence today, and we got many more new ideas and new things which comments also we have received. Definitely, it will be useful for all the research scholars who have participated, not only from here. Comments I have received from Thailand also. A madam have sent me a message that it is very excellent. Student is watching your slides and your videos. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Um,
Again,
we have also Angyan sir, who is taking a session on Saturday on renewable energies from Myanmar. He also has put a message in YouTube that he is watching the session, and it is very useful.
Thank you.
We have around 3,000 messages in YouTube chat box, and we have had around 700 concurrent viewers in YouTube. And it will keep, generally during the live session it will be 700 to 1000, and when it goes on it reaches to around 2.3k to 4k. For the first session we have 6,000 viewers right now, and for the second session we have around 3,000, and for this it will increase, because someone will not have time now and they will watch the video later and they will submit the feedback. So it was very nice, sir, because you, in spite of all the odds, you have taken a lot of effort to give this session. We are very grateful to you, sir, and thank you very much from the whole AVIT family for taking such a great effort.
Photo.
Okay, for taking this. I would like everyone to please switch on their video and come for a group photo, because here we cannot go for a group photo like an ordinary session. So I request everyone to please switch on their videos. We will take a screenshot, and with that is our. I request everyone to take, switch on their videos, please. Ma'am, shall we take?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm taking this shot. Okay, fine. Just one more minute, because there are two screens. I have to go to the other screen also. Prakash sir, can you switch on the video, sir? I'm done. I'm over.
Okay.
Okay, madam.
Okay.
Then,
thank you, sir.
Sir is not in the line.
No, he's there.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Ma'am.
Okay, we'll close.
Chitra madam.
Okay.
Chitra madam.
Yes.
Ratan sir. Ratnakanan sir. Is in the line?
Yes, he's there.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invitation. I called several times for just for communication purpose. Don't mistake me, sir. And thank you very much for your support, sir. Good luck, sir. Kannan, sir. Atana Kannan, sir.
Okay, maybe some issue.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you one
sir.
and all. We will be winding up the meeting. Thank you everyone for attending the session. Thank you.
Thanks to Mangana Priya, madam.